The garage sat at the edge of the property like a forgotten memory. Its white paint had peeled away over the years, exposing gray wood beneath. The small side window was coated in dust, barely allowing light to pass through. For 15 years, that door had stayed closed. Until today. When I stepped in front of it, the air felt heavier somehow. Not physically heavy, emotionally heavy. Like the space behind that metal door was holding its breath. I wrapped my fingers around the cold hanging chain. For a second, I didn't pull. I just stood there, listening to the morning. A distant bird, wind brushing through trees, my own breathing. Then, I pulled. The chain rattled sharply in the silence. The garage door shuddered before slowly rolling upward with a long, grinding groan. The sound echoed outward, then inward, bouncing against the concrete walls like something ancient waking from sleep. Light spilled inside. Golden morning beams cut through the darkness, revealing floating dust particles drifting lazily in the air. The scent followed immediately. Old motor oil soaked deep in the concrete. A faint trace of rust, dry wood, aged rubber, time. And there, in the center of the garage, beneath a faded gray tarp weighed down by stillness, sat a silhouette I knew by heart. Low, wide, muscular. Even covered, it had presence. My boots made soft, hollow echoes as I stepped forward. Each step felt deliberate, careful, respectful. I reached out and placed my palm flat against the tarp. Dust clung to my skin. The fabric felt brittle, fragile from years of neglect. Slowly, I began pulling it back. The material dragged across metal with a soft, whispering sound. Dust rose into the sunlight like a sigh escaping. And there it was, a 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback. Midnight blue, or at least it once was. Now the paint was faded, oxidized into uneven patches of dull navy and gray. Rust freckles dotted the hood. The chrome bumper had clouded over. The tires sagged slightly under the weight of stillness. Dry leaves rested near the windshield as if autumn had made it home. I stepped closer. "There you are," I whispered. The words felt small inside the large, quiet space. I placed my hand gently on the hood. Cold metal greeted my palm. The surface was rough, textured with oxidation. When I slowly dragged my fingers across it, a faint scratching sound followed. Soft, delicate, almost like sandpaper brushing lightly against skin. I tapped my knuckles twice on the hood. Thunk. A deep, hollow, metallic echo responded. Solid. Still strong underneath it all. This car wasn't just steel. It was my father's. He bought it when he was 23 with money he barely had. He worked double shifts at the factory for months just to afford the down payment. He used to tell me how he drove it across 3 states in one summer with nothing but a duffel bag in the back seat. He met my mom because of this car. Their first date was inside it, parked by a quiet lake, engine ticking gently as it cooled. He said she fell in love with the sound of the motor before she fell in love with him. When I was 10, he placed me in the driver's seat for the first time. My feet barely touched the pedals. My hands gripped the steering wheel too tightly. He laughed. "One day," he said, "this'll be yours." But life doesn't stay on smooth highways. Medical bills, hospital rooms, machines humming through long nights. After he passed, the Mustang was parked here, covered, untouched, silent. I moved to the driver's side door. The handle felt cold and slightly gritty. I pulled slowly. The door opened with a long, aching creak, metal hinges stretching after years without movement. The sound echoed through the garage like a memory unfolding. The interior smelled like aged leather and dust. Not rotten, not ruined, just old. The seats were cracked but intact. The dashboard was coated in a thin layer of dust that shimmered under the sunlight. The steering wheel still felt solid beneath my fingers. I slid into the seat slowly. The cushion compressed with a soft exhale of air and dust. Silence wrapped around me. I placed both hands on the steering wheel and closed my eyes. Inhale, exhale. No engine hum, no ticking metal, no vibration, just quiet. But it wasn't empty. It felt like waiting. I stepped back out and walked to my workbench. I opened my toolbox. Click. The latch released with a crisp metallic snap that felt sharp in the still air. Inside, every tool was perfectly arranged, wrenches aligned by size, ratchets polished, microfiber towels folded into neat squares, bottles of degreaser and polish standing upright. I picked up a wrench. The cool weight of steel settled into my palm. This wasn't going to be rushed. This wasn't about flipping a classic for money. This was about restoration, connection, listening. I ran my finger gently across the chrome Mustang emblem on the grille. Beneath the haze, the galloping horse still stood proud, strong, unbroken. "I'm bringing you back," I whispered. And for the first time in 15 years, the garage didn't feel abandoned anymore. It felt awake.
The hood latch resisted slightly before releasing with a dull metallic click. When I lifted it, the hinges groaned loudly, echoing against the concrete walls. Dust fell in soft clouds around me. The engine bay looked frozen in time. Cobwebs stretched delicately from the carburetor to the firewall. Hoses were brittle, cracked from age. The battery terminals were corroded white. A thin layer of grime coated everything like a blanket of neglect. I stood there quietly for a moment, observing, listening. Then I grabbed a soft detailing brush. The first stroke was slow. Brush. Pause. Wipe. The bristles made a faint scratching sound as they swept across metal. Tiny particles lifted into the air. Brush. Pause. Wipe. Underneath the grime, hints of original Ford blue began to reappear. I sprayed degreaser carefully. Hiss. The sound filled the garage softly, like distant rainfall. The liquid dripped slowly down the engine block, carrying dark streaks of dirt with it. I waited. Patience is part of restoration. Then I wiped gently in circular motions with a microfiber towel. The cloth dragged smoothly across metal, revealing shine beneath years of buildup. Bolt by bolt, section by section, I cleaned everything. I removed the old spark plugs one at a time. Tick, tick, tick. The ratchet echoed rhythmically in the quiet space. Each plug came out dark and corroded. I placed them neatly on the workbench. New spark plugs slid in smoothly, tightened carefully, not too tight, not too loose. Precision matters. I drained the old gasoline. The smell was sharp and sour, like something that had overstayed its time. I replaced the fuel lines, installed a new battery, changed the oil. The oil poured slowly, thick and golden, glugging softly into the engine. Hours passed unnoticed. When I moved to the exterior, I connected the hose. Water burst out in a steady stream, splashing against dusty metal. Mud and dirt slid downward in thin rivers. I covered the Mustang in thick white foam. It looked like it was wrapped in clouds. With a soft wash mitt, I moved slowly across the hood. Swish, swish, swish. Each stroke revealed deeper blue beneath the oxidation. I polished the chrome bumper in small circular motions. Slowly, the cloudy silver transformed into a reflective mirror. I could see my face in it again. The transformation wasn't dramatic. It was gradual, gentle, respectful. This wasn't just cleaning a car. It was restoring memory in layers. Late afternoon sunlight filled the garage in warm amber tones. The Mustang stood differently now. Not perfect, Not brand new, but alive. The paint carried depth again. The chrome reflected light sharply. The interior leather had been conditioned, soft to the touch. The steering wheel felt firm and confident. I sat in the driver's seat. The new battery was connected, fluids checked, belts secured. My hand rested on the key. For a moment, I didn't turn it. I listened to my breathing. Inhale, exhale. I turned the key halfway. Click. Dashboard lights flickered on softly. I turned further. Whir, whir. The engine struggled. I stopped. Waited. Tried again. Whir, cough, whir. Then, vroom. The engine roared to life. The deep rumble filled the garage walls. The steering wheel vibrated gently in my hands. The entire frame trembled as fuel and fire returned to motion. The idle settled into a steady rhythm. Thump, 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 like a heartbeat returning after long silence. Tears blurred my vision. I stepped outside and walked slowly around the car as it ran. Warm exhaust drifted into the air. Sunlight danced across midnight blue paint. The sound wasn't just noise, it was presence. It was my father's laughter on open highways. It was summer evenings and long drives. I leaned against the fender and closed my eyes. The rumble vibrated through the metal, through my body. After 15 years of silence, the Mustang was alive again, and so was a piece of me.